Welcome to Geek of the Road, where today it's time to replace this old steering wheel with this one. Obviously, the first thing we need to do is remove the old wheel. This MR2 has no airbag, so we don't need to be concerned about that. Some of the newer models had a mechanically fired airbag in the middle that you just need to be careful not to be directly in front of when you remove that section. However, if you're working on a car with an electronically fired airbag, your best precaution is to remove the negative battery terminal before you start. So the first thing we need to do is undo a bolt down here that will release the centre section of the wheel. Once you have access to the centre nut on the wheel, just make sure your wheels are perfectly straight so that you know how to put the new wheel on, and then it's time to crack this bolt. Once you break the bolt, just unwind the nut a little bit, so there's enough space for the wheel to come out a little bit off the spline, but not enough so that when you yank it, it's going to hit you in the face, because sometimes these can be tricky to get off. Of course, there's no guarantee that simply pulling at the wheel manually is going to work, and it hasn't in my case. However, Toyota have provided two M8 threads right here in the wheel, so I've made a very basic puller just with a piece of right angle aluminium, two M8 bolts, and they'll all bolt in there and then be able to pull the steering wheel out against the centre nut. And this simple puller just did the trick, so now my steering wheel is free. To fit an aftermarket steering wheel to your car, you need a boss like this one, and that converts the spline that's specific to your car to a standard 6-bolt configuration that pretty much any aftermarket steering wheel will use. For an MR2, you can find a number of these cheaply on eBay, and if you buy one, you're pretty much wasting your money because in the majority of cases it doesn't fit well at all, and you'll end up having to buy something decent anyhow. So go straight for a main brand. This one is a Momo. It's a well-known brand and it's known to fit very well on its cars. Before fitting the boss, I drill a hole in it so that I can attach a ground wire to enable the horn button to work. My absolute number one tip for refitting a steering wheel is make sure you grease the spline really well. And this is just to avoid the new hub or the new wheel seizing onto the spline and giving me problems taking it off again at a later date. And now, because I've left the wheel straight, I can fit the boss straight onto the spline and know that it will be in about the correct position. Because I don't intend to use the stock wheel again, I've cut out the horn wire and I've connected a crimp on the end so that I can use it with my aftermarket horn button. With the wiring in place, it's time to start bolting up the wheel itself. These wheels use countersunk screws to hold the wheel really firmly in place in the boss and making sure it doesn't slip around all over the place. However, I'm going to be using a trim around the horn button. Therefore, I'm only going to use 4 countersunk screws on the wheel itself. That will hold it nice and firmly in place, and the last 2 will be used to hold on the trim itself. Once the wheel is bolted down, this is the perfect time to do up that centre nut. And finally, with the horn connected, the trim can go over the top. To give the wheel a more OEM look, I have this Toyota logo in the middle, which is simply just a resin sticker designed for wheel centre caps, custom made to the correct diameter and with a Toyota logo in it. So the steering wheel is now fitted and I'm out on the road with it. A smaller wheel just helps give the car a bit more of a sporty feel, helps it feel a bit more like a go-kart. And for taller people like me, it's really useful just to have a bit of extra space where my legs and my knees are, so that I'm not rubbing the steering wheel up against my knee as I'm turning the wheel. Thank you for watching, I hope you found that useful, and don't forget to subscribe because next time I'm fitting lowering springs to the suspension.